is ready. Okay, it says we are live. Let's see if it stays live this time. Yep, it says live. So I'm going to take the word of the Video Pro. Never a dull moment when you're streaming to YouTube, I can tell you that right now. When you're trying to get a decent stream to YouTube. So let me see if I can pull up this show, see if we're actually live. It says we are. And yes, we are live on this Easter Monday. This is a special broadcast. I wasn't planning on doing this. I just scheduled it a few minutes ago. And the main reason that I'm doing it is I've got video shoots the next couple days, so I won't be able to broadcast probably the next couple of days. Yes, we are live, and Thomas is in the house. Jerry's in the house. He says he loves Steinhart. I had a Steinhart. We're going to talk about this because a viewer suggested that I talk about this Steinhart with the Jubilee bracelet that they've come out with that really looks pretty good. I mean, there's a review on YouTube where they really go over the bracelet and everything, and it seems like they did a pretty good job for around $500, I guess. So we'll talk about that. Evening from the UK. I don't know what the stock is like on these watches. Maybe some people, it says available in stock right there on the website. It says in stock. So I don't know if it's in stock on other websites or what the overall availability is, but we can talk about all of this. Interesting, because there was also a discussion on one of the Rolex Facebook pages, groups, whatever you want to call them, about the Batman and how much money they're selling for the older Batman, with the oyster bracelet and the old movement and so forth, that the prices are astronomical. They're going for like $19,000, over $20,000. They're going to be like $25,000 soon. I mean, they're throwing around all these huge numbers. And there was a debate going on back and forth, and people were saying, yeah, they're asking big prices, but they're not selling. And the other guy said, oh, yeah, they're selling left and right, and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, so there's those that are very bullish on the Pepsi Rolex, and those that are saying that maybe it's a little bit overhyped and they're not really selling for those kind of prices. But whatever prices they're selling for, it's a lot more money than that Steinhart. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's a pretty good-looking watch for that kind of money. And again, I had one, and you could make the argument that the lugs on this watch are more attractive than the Rolex, because they're even a little trimmer. You know, the lugs on the Pepsi are pretty good compared to the Submariner. Submariner, the lugs are really ugly, the new Submariners. But this one, the lugs look pretty good. So let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. And I had a couple of kind of typical stupid comments on a couple of my videos. One of the videos I have shows that jousting down in Sarasota, where these guys are going at each other and, you know, like knocking each other off the horses, you know, these knights. And this guy's, oh, it's all fake, and, you know, those aren't the real lances that they normally use, and so on. So I was like, well, why don't you go ahead and try and do it? You go ahead and try and do what they were doing. Let me see if I can pull it up here and show you the video in question. I don't know if I can find it or not. Let me go see if I can get to it. Never saw a Steinhart in the flesh. Well, I actually had one, Carlos, and they're actually pretty decently made for the money. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Not super accurate. I'm sure the Rolex would be more accurate, but pretty good. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, here it is. Find this video that this guy was talking about, how he was saying how he could do it, no problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this a second. I'm going to try to get get over to the section where they actually do the jousting. I guess that's what you call it. You see here they are. Let's see if I can get a clip of them actually running into each other. Maybe it's here. Let's see here. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me, folks. Let's see what happens here. I want to find the part where they actually clashed with each other. I guess this is it. No, that's not it. They're just playing around. Ooh, right there. Ooh. It looked pretty heavy duty to me. I don't know, folks. I don't know, folks. That looked like ooh. Let me go back here. I got to show you this last little clip here. So there's that one. I'll keep watching. Wham! Ooh. look at the armor knocked off to the side. I mean, yeah, it's not real. They're not trying to kill each other, for God's sakes, but I don't know if I'd be up to doing that anytime soon. Ocean 1 ceramic bezel. I don't think so. I don't think this one... I don't know. Does that have a ceramic bezel? Let's see what it says here. I'm not sure if it does. Can you guys tell me? And I don't see it saying it here. Let's see what it says here. 13.5 mils. So I think it's a little bit thicker than the, which would be a downside, but still 13.5 millimeters isn't bad. Bezel, blue, red. I think it's aluminum. Yeah, it says ALU. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum bezel. But, you know, that wouldn't be a deal killer for me. I mean, Rolexes were aluminum bezels for years. And that's what this stunner is right here, and it's fine. I mean, the ceramic bezel thing is a lot of hype, if you ask me. They'll shatter, too, if you hit them on something. So if you hit them on a rock or something when you're diving or something like that. And it's much easier to hit that bezel than the crystal, because the bezel is kind of like the first thing to take the hit. Let's see here. And the GMT to quartz, 39 millimeter Steinhart sub, 39 millimeter rose. Same price. Looks aluminum. Yeah, I'm sure it's aluminum. Yeah. Hey there, David Williams. Let's try to hope. A good Easter. Well, there you go. So, so yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Interesting consideration. The other thing that you could do if you were thinking about buying the Rolex and you wanted to get on a long waiting list is you could buy one of these and wear it for a couple of years, beat the heck out of it, and then when your name comes up on the list, snatch the Pepsi, as opposed to paying a premium price now, you know, thousands over retail. Let's see here. Got a little conversation going on between Carlos and Thomas. Carlos, do you have anything to report from the field? Should we have you call in and give us a report from the field? Let me know in the chat. And there's the EDC item. There's my Chris Reeves Sabenza, made in these United States of America. And by the way, this shirt I'm wearing is a Brooks Brothers shirt, and it was made in the USA. This was back in the day when they took quality serious and they made them right. And so this particular shirt was made in the United States of America. And let's get a close-up of this puppy here. There you go, on wrist. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about that puppy on wrist. Let's see if I can get it more in the shot here. Sure what's in focus. About right there. About right there is in focus. So there you go. That's that puppy right there, up close and personal. Been beating the heck out of this the last few days. I've noticed lately how many times I bump this on things like zippers and different things, and Like I was setting up a monolight, and you have to reach inside and set up the softbox. You reach through like this. You open a zipper opening and you reach through, and the watch is like banging against stuff. And I'm pretty hard on my watches, and this thing is holding up pretty doggone good, if you ask me. That's what I say. Holding up to heavy use. Yeah, I use my watches hard. I buy them. They're gear. That's like any other equipment I buy them to wear them and use them. Okay, let's see. 15,000. I bought 2 Pepsi Jubilees for 9,200 and no sales, 9,250 and no sales tax. There you go. What's that MSRP? Good move. DA Machine 3 is able to get them with no wait for MSRP. He's rocking and rolling. Resell those puppies for a profit. That's what I say. Not much more than the other day. Back in Panama. Okay. Carlos is back in Panama. Titan looking at home on the wrist. Yeah, it's pretty robust. Doesn't look that big. People overestimate how big 40 millimeter is over 40 millimeter. A lot of it depends on the lug, the shape of the lugs. That's why I say the real bulbous lugs that the Rolex has make it look bigger and also uglier. So these lugs, they shape to the wrist very nicely. Let's get it over here so you can see. Oops. There we go. Again, let me try to get it in focus. You can see the taper to those lugs, how they taper down, nicely shaped. And then it's got the 22 millimeter bracelet, which is the Rolex is 20. So that makes the proportions look great. And so, yeah, it looks good on wrist because of the design, I think. That's a big factor. And see, here's what it looks like at a distance. Now, my wrist is 7.25 inches. So I think if your wrist was much smaller than that, anything below 7, I think you'd be pushing it. But I think it looks good. I think the size on my wrist, I'm fine with it. When I bought it, I didn't even have a second thought about the size being too big. I mean, it didn't even, when I put it on wrist, I mean, it wasn't even a factor. So that's the thing. Wear 'em hard or go home, says James. Carlos, I resisted the temptation for a painkiller while I get a substitutional for the Daytona. Yeah. Now don't just buy anything, Carlos. Buy the right thing. I have a GS spring drive wearing today in the GS 9F quartz, so I have no need for a Steinhart Pepsi homage. I hear you. I hear you. When you've stepped up to GS, you're not really looking at Rolexes that much anymore. I don't think it's hard to go back when you step up to the GS. It's hard to go back to the Rolex. I've thought about it, but I don't think I could give up the accuracy and just the overall quality. I mean, every time I look at this watch, I'm amazed at the quality. Like today when I was out walking, I was out in the sun, the hard sun. And, when the hard sun hits it, you see every little detail. And it just looks stunning. It's hard to go back to the Rolex after having a GS. So there's the deal on all that. And I put a link in the chat to my GS page for anybody that wants to learn about the GS. Let's see what else I have up here. Oh, speaking of a stunner GS, we talked about this one the other day. Look at that puppy. And I put a link in the other video that we did the other day to this article. I mean, look at the detail. Look at the quality. Now, if Steinhart could deliver that level of quality, then yeah, I mean, we'd probably be talking about something here. But no, you can't get that level of quality really from any other watch. I mean, you've really got to go Grand Seiko to get that kind of quality. And the comfort factor, the comfort of the bracelet, the way the bracelet's designed to be extremely comfortable on wrist, whether it be the steel one or the titanium. So, yeah, that's a whole different Oh, look at that signed crown. Look how gorgeous that crown is. I mean, it's a whole different level, folks. It's just a whole different ball game. So, and don't go that way because you won't want to go back if you go that way. Let's see here. Craig, do you think more marketing would do any good for GS? Could they deliver more watches, or would they decrease quality, increase volume? Yeah, see, I don't think they can make but so many. And I don't think they are going to do any aggressive marketing. I'd be shocked if they did any kind of aggressive marketing. They're clueless when it comes to marketing. And even when they try, like when they had that event in New York, I mean, it was just a total joke. I mean, they are, can I tell you, they are clueless when it comes to marketing. They know how to make a watch, but they are clueless when it comes to marketing. So I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to pay anybody, hire any firm or anybody that really knows what they're doing and pay the kind of money you need to pay to really take on somebody like Rolex and really market the watch. That would cost a huge amount of money. And correct, they wouldn't be able to ramp up their production and maintain the level of care that they're putting into the watches now. So I don't think it's going to happen. I think they might double production. They could probably do that and still maintain, just make more watches the way they're making them now. But no, they can't make, 600,000 watches a year. Not going to happen. I really like the looks of the Asia edition. Yeah, it's pretty freaking amazing. I think that a Steinhart is a good choice for people at a price around $500. I think it's insane for people making average money lusting at $10,000 Rolex watches. Oh, yeah, you should not. My rule of thumb is you should spend about a week's salary or a week's income on your watch or a good suit. If you're going to go out and buy a suit, that's my same rule of thumb. 1 week's income. And that makes sense. So yes, you should be affluent. You should have a pretty high income if you're going to go buy a Rolex. It's for high income individuals. It's a luxury item. So yeah, people that can't afford it should not be buying it. And people that are thinking about it as an investment, that tells me right there they can't afford it in the first place if they're thinking about it as an investment. I bought the Steinhart Pepsi last year when they came out. The GMT hand was misaligned, so I had to send it back for repair. It took 7 weeks. Wow. Ray, bad experience. There you go. Did yours probably didn't have the Jubilee bracelet, did it? Let us know if it had the Jubilee bracelet. But yeah, quality control issues, you're going to have that sort of thing on watches like that. I know the Invictas are terrible on quality control. I did a review on the 9937 model Invicta, which is a well-made Invicta. If you're going to buy an Invicta, you want the 9937 model. It's a Submariner homage, and it's pretty good. But you got to get a good copy of it. You got to get a good one. They have quality control issues. I got lucky. The one I got was really good and pretty accurate. And I had it for at least a year or so before I sold it. So yeah, you can get good ones if you get lucky. I understand your point of view regarding GS, but it is not engraved in my heart since I was a boy like others, like Rolex, Omega Patek. Well, Carlos, I wore Rolexes for 40 years, so you've got a ways to go. Once you've been wearing them for 40 years, then maybe you'll change your mind. It took me 40 years to figure it out. So I'm a little bit slow, though, on the uptake, but I figured it out. Yes, with the Jubilee races. Did you like the Jubilee bracelet? Is it pretty well done? The reviewer that I saw said it was pretty well done. So we don't have very many people watching. This is kind of early. A lot of people are still working and so forth. But I figured I'd just try to slip a show in here because I've got to eat something in a little while. And then I've got an issue I've got to deal with Got to get out of here again. I was out earlier and running around dealing with things. Let me see what else we had up here on the. Speaking of really cool Grand Seikos, this one with the 9F movement, that one's on my short list, folks. I'm really keeping an eye on that puppy with the blue dial. And that one's only about 12 millimeters thick. Of course, it's got the 9F movement, 39 mil watch. That could be a perfect travel watch where you just don't want to have to care about the watch. You want to know that it's going to be keeping accurate time. You got the GMT function, and you can just wear it and not worry about it. That is a very interesting consideration right there, I think. Let's see what else. And there's another look at it. There's the crown and the side view. I love the shape of that case. The whole design of that case, I think they got it right. That's what I'm saying there. And, of course, as we talk about Rolexes, we can't leave out the Yacht-Master. That one is gorgeous. That still has the good-looking lugs on it. And that one, stunning blue dial. And, of course, that platinum bezel. Back up the car and load that puppy up, because I'd rather have that than the Pepsi right there. Only thing I don't like about that, again, is the polished center links. We've talked about that before many times. But other than that, let's go back to showing that view of it. Other than that, the Yacht-Master would be a really good option for an all-around beater watch. Let's see what we got here. Yes, Jubilee is very well made. Fits the other 42 millimeter Steinhart divers. Okay. I had nothing against Jess prior to watching Craig's channel, but I definitely been converted, and I've owned several Rolexes, including a Hulk and a nice minty vintage 1680, James says in the house. Now, James, which GSs do you own now? What does your GS collection look like now? Let's see. Hi, Craig. What do you think of Tissot-powered? I'm not familiar with them. That's a good question. Maybe some other folks can help out. I've never had one. Thoughts on the Explorer 2? I love the Explorer 2. But I'd probably just get an Explorer before I'd get an Explorer 2, personally. That's what I would do. I'd just get the Explorer and call it a day. The Explorer 2 is okay. Depends on if you need the GMT function or not. That's the question there. This is the model number T108. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's see if that'll come up if I do a search on it. There it is, $625. Let's pull this one up here. I'll show it once it loads in here. Easter sale. $995 retail. It's $625. 37% off. There you go. Nothing wrong with getting a deal. It's a good-looking watch. I don't have any problems with the looks of it. I don't know how good a watch they are, but I'm guessing they're okay. Maybe some other guys can let you know in the chat if they've had any experience with them. It looks like you've got to adjust it by removing links. There's no micro adjustments. I would probably go with a some kind of GS before I'd go with this. I marked a couple of let's see. Steinharts are very good quality at the price point they have. It seems like it. OMG, what a reference. Okay. Craig, I haven't purchased a GS yet, but I'll be my next watch for sure. I'm leaning towards SBGN 003 or the SBGJ 227 Peacock if I can get a hold of one. There you go. I'm still loving my new Explorer 2, Blue Shirt Buddha. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Explorer 2. Let's look. I put a couple of, see if I can find them here. I put a couple of Grand Seikos on my watch list on eBay just to, I'm not going to buy any of these, but just because they were intriguing. Let me see here if I can get in here. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, so here's one. This one is $2,100. And this, of course, has the 9F in it. And it looks like it's in pretty good shape from the photos. Let me pull up the photos here. Nice clean dial. Nice design. Of course, this is going to be very thin, right, because it's a 9F. So it's very nicely shaped. This is probably not going to have a screw-down crown, by the way. Wouldn't be a deal killer for me in this price range. I would probably also have a dive watch around for swimming and things like that. I just use this for other purposes, more like almost like dress purposes, but kind of an all-arounder. So I think that's a pretty good deal. That's about a 36 mil watch. So there's that one. So let me see. I had another one here. Let me pull it up. So he says, well, yeah, they don't hold their value and all this. Hey, it's good for me if I can get a deal. If I can get one used, right? And if somebody else took a hit on it, that's okay with me. I don't have a problem with benefiting from that. So here's one for $1,624. Now this one has the Rice Link bracelet. This one has a day and the date. Of course, it's a Japanese. I guess that's Japanese on the date. I kind of like the other one a little bit better, but this one's intriguing as well, and this one's even less money. So now let's see what the size is. I think this one was about the same size too. And then they'll take an offer too. You can make an offer on this puppy. Let's see here. Case width 3.9. So does that mean 39 mils? I think that's what that means. So anyway, there's a bunch of them around, and that's the thing. I mean, if you look around, you'll find something that you like, I think. Hi, Craig. I noticed there's no YouTuber with a Lang & Son. If I was to add my 116234, go a Lang, okay. The Powermatic 80 is a 2824. It's lower beat and uses a silicone balance spring. It can be regulated to cost specs, but just about any modern movement can. You're paying $200 for, okay. There you go. Got a little bit of back and forth going on in there. People resolving issues. That's what I like. This is a channel where people are in motion and are making things happen. Are you buying a watch to show off or to keep accurate time and reliability, just as a Toyota is better than VW, so is a Seiko? Toyotas are great. I mean, I drive a Toyota. I drive a 2004 Toyota Prius that I bought new. It's got about 125,000 miles on it, something like that. Runs great, great shape. I'm going to run it indefinitely. Toyotas are great cars. Yeah, I buy watches for functionality. I actually wear my watches. Can you imagine that? And I want durability. I want longevity. I want accuracy. Oh, by the way, somebody made a comment about this watch. Well, if the watch is so good, how come the warranty is less than a Rolex? I think Rolex is 5 years now, and this is 3 years or something. I don't know what the numbers are, but here's the deal, folks. If I had a failure with this watch, I would be done with Grand Seiko. Full stop, done. I would never buy another one. If I pay this much money for a watch, I want it to be bulletproof, reliable, right out of the box. I have no tolerance for an issue. So to me, the warranty is a total non-issue because it's a total deal breaker for me if the watch gives trouble. Same thing for a Rolex. If I bought a Rolex, paid all that kind of money for the Rolex, and 6 months later it stopped or wasn't working right or whatever, sure, I might get it fixed, but it would be gone. I would sell it, it would be gone, and I would never buy another one. I have zero tolerance for a failure when I buy something like that. Because there are other options. There are other watches I can buy. I'm not married to them, right? So the warranty, to me, if I have to make a warranty claim, that's a deal killer. It's just like my Toyota. It's never had any problems. No warranties, no nothing. I did do one recall that they sent out, and I had it done, no cost. But nothing failed. It's just something that could possibly fail later or whatever. It was a recall. I can understand that. But I didn't have a failure. If the car leaves me on the side of the road or something fails, I can't tolerate that because I rely on my vehicle to get to my appointment on time. It has to be bulletproof, reliable, folks. That's the way I operate. Hello, Craig. I have found that if one doesn't have a budget for a GS, the Seiko SARB timepieces are a fabulous alternative. One gets a GS look. I hear you. Absolutely. Well, I had the SBDC 007, the SBDC 007 Shogun for a couple of years. I wore that watch. It just ran slow, so that's really what I couldn't tolerate. I ended up finally getting rid of it. I loved the watch. I loved everything about the watch, but it ran slow. And that's another thing that I can't wrap my head around, a watch that runs slow. It runs a little bit fast, I can tolerate that, but slow, no. Greg purchased a Grand Seiko SBGN 007G a few months back. It's similar to the 9F GMT you're interested in, but it's from the Heritage line. It's only lost half a second in 4 months. There you go. Ben in the house. He's in motion. He's making things happen. Absolutely. SBGN 007G. Let's see. SBGN 007. Oh. Let's see if I can pull this up. Pull this puppy up. Oh, yeah, I remember this watch. Can you guys say stunning? Can you guys say stunning? That one was limited to 1,200 pieces. That's a nice looking watch. The only thing that I would like is I would like the Lume. That's why I like the other one, because I like the Lume. So, but I mean that, I'm nitpicking now, but that's a stunning watch. So, yeah. Somebody has the SARB 035. SARB 035. Let's pull that puppy up. Pull that puppy up. Okay. Nice looking piece, just absolutely classic looking piece. And of course that's got Lume. Absolutely, positively. That's Long Island Watch has that one. Let's see what they visit. Let's visit their website here. And there you go. $500. Nice watch. Maybe we've got a display back. Very nice watch. Very, very nice. 39 mil sapphire crystal, 39 mil case. Yeah. Okay. I guess Steve sells Seiko. Yes, Steve sells Seiko. He can get you a SARB, I'm sure. Check out the SBGJ 227. Let's do that. Let's see. See if this is it. Yeah, I've seen this one too. This is a nice watch. And I can go for that case shape and all. That's would be my second choice though, as far as the case design. I kind of like the case design on the other one that I was looking at a little bit better, but this would not be a deal killer. And then the other thing, of course, that one doesn't have the Lume either. So you got to think about that. It doesn't have the Lume. Now that one's a high beat, so of course you're paying more money than if you buy the one with the 9F. And of course it's going to be a little bit thicker on wrist. So all trade-offs, folks. And of course servicing down the road, costs of ownership are higher. It's kind of Explorer 36. Like a Datejust 39. There you go. I tell you what, I like the Datejust 36 myself. And this other guy, this other grinder, these people just make stupid comments. He commented on my 18238 video. And he says, why are you wearing a woman's watch? You know, the 36 mil Date 8, right? As if it's a woman's watch, right? Why are you wearing a woman's watch, you know? I'm like, okay, you know, whatever you say. If Jack Nicklaus can wear a 36 mil Date 8 for like 50 years, I think that's fine. That's what I say about that. All right, we're going to wrap this puppy up. We've been going a little bit over half an hour. Let me know if you have any other questions in the chat. Let me know. And otherwise, there's a link to the Steinhart in the video description if you want to check that out. And here's my MadeInUSAForever.com sticker. Folks, if you're in the United States, buy Made in USA items. That's what we should be doing. Now, if you live in England, if you're an Englander, buy stuff made there. If you're in France, buy stuff made there. Support your locals, man. Support your local manufacturing capabilities. That is a good move. Let's see here. The most powerful people always wore small watches. Look it up. Oh, there you go. Yeah, maybe some of these people that are wearing the huge watches are compensating for something, right? Here's the deal. I would have bought this watch if it was 40 mils, right? But for me, for a dive watch, for a sport watch like I'm using this for, it is a benefit to have it a little bit bigger because my eyes, my old eyes, you know, usually I'm not wearing these reading glasses. And so I can still read this very easily in any lighting conditions without my glasses. It's very legible, right? So that's why I am okay with this one being a little bit bigger. But absent that situation, a 40 mil sport watch or a 36 mil dress watch, I think those are the two ideal sizes. I think you can't beat it. James says, I was made in USA, and I support our locals. There you go. Better for the environment, too, to buy local. I think so. The man should stand out, not the watch. And also, it's not just the watch, too. I mean, it's like the whole thing. How you dress, how you carry yourself, how you treat people is the most important thing. Are you fair and honest with people? Do you go out of your way to help them? I can't tell you how many times I have a client tell me, well, how much is that, right? And very often I'll tell them no charge. I'll just take care of the issue for them, and I won't charge them. And they're like shocked. They're like used to people that want to like bleed every penny out of them, right? I get paid nicely for what I do. I mean, my sponsors pay me an annual fee to sponsor Frederick.com, and I'm very pleased with the situation. But when they call me up and they just need a little thing done or whatever, I'm not going to charge them for every little thing. A lot of times I can fix the problem or whatever it is with just a couple minutes of my time. I'm not going to even take the time to fill out an invoice. And they appreciate it. Okay, and they keep coming back year after year as a client, and that's how that works. You treat people the way you would like them to treat you. I mean, I know it's very old-fashioned, right? But you treat people the way you would like to have them treat you, and you're going to be way ahead of the game. And you, whatever you're doing, you try to do a decent job. You try to get it done for them. Okay. I think that's the key there. Let's see. Yeah, if you're in Italy, buy the Ferrari. Absolutely. I'm rich, but I don't have Cartier money to buy local. Okay. Wear a Hamilton or a Vulcan and wear American. Yeah, well, with the watches, I'll draw the line there because there really aren't any decent watches still made in the U.S., unfortunately. That are really made here, from soup to nuts. Maybe there's some watches that are assembled here or whatever, but it's not the same thing. You tend to get more in the long run using that approach. Vegas in the house, telling the truth. All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this puppy up, and hopefully we're going to be seeing some of you all next month. Steve's party is going to be coming up. Let me see if I can pull up the date here so I make sure I give you guys the correct date. Pull up my calendar. I think I put it on my calendar. Let me see here. Okay, it is the 9th of May. May 9 at 4 p.m. at Little Treasury. So May 9th at 4 p.m., that is the big deal. That's the party. That's going to be a blast. Let's see here. Roland Murphy, Mr. Joy, comma PA. Okay. There's this wise guy who makes watches in the USA. Does he make the whole thing here? Even the movement and everything? That'd be cool. I really would love to buy a John Harwood watch. Okay. But here's the other thing about buying local. Here's the other thing. I really don't mind buying like a specialty item that's made somewhere else, like a Tilly hat, the guy that invented the Tilly hat. He's in Canada, he's a Canadian. For me, like, we've almost adopted Canada as part of the United States. So I don't mind buying a Tilly hat from him. Buying things from England, like a Burberry trench coat, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. Buying some things out of Australia, I'm good with that. I bought some of my crocodile belts out of Australia. And watches. If I want to buy like a watch out of Japan or out of Switzerland, I mean, that's fine. But things like clothing and things like that I can legitimately get high quality clothing made in the U.S. Sometimes I have to hunt for it a little bit. I can do it, so I'm going to do it. I plan to be there on 5/9. David Williams is going to be in the house. That's going to be a fun event. I'm telling you it will be. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Wrap it up, but I think we've addressed some issues. And until we get a chance to do this again, you guys get out there and be in motion. Make things happen. That's what I say. I'm actually Canadian, buy Canadian when I can. Absolutely, Robert. Do you have a Tilly hat? You probably have a Tilly hat. I think he makes the cases and finishes off the top bridges of his movements. Okay. Gotcha. Well, that's good, though. That's good. And there's some other companies that do similar things. I had a watch, Bernhardt, or whatever. I did a review on my channel. He assembles them, puts them all together here in the U.S., and I think makes the cases and stuff here. He does a lot of watches for like police and like SWAT teams and stuff like that. They're pretty cool. They're pretty heavy duty, pretty cool watches. I got a review here on my channel. Vegas says, take care, all thanks. Sorrel boots. Yeah, I had a pair of sorrel boots. I wore to Canada when I went to Canada, and then I left them there with a friend of mine there. He loved them. Let's see if I can pull up that picture before we go. Let's see if we can pull that up. I'll show you a picture of me wearing those boots. I think I have a picture of me wearing those boots in outside of Moscow. It was cold. It was January. It was cold. That's all I got to say. 227 photos. Let's see if I can find the photo in question here. Oh, I think I found it. There we go. Can't really see them too much. But there they are on my feet. On my feet. Let's see if we can zoom in here. See, we go to view all sizes and go to the original. There we go. Can zoom in a little bit. We can go down here. There be the boots. There be the boots. Bought them specifically for that trip. And then the brother of my friend, Masha's brother, he wore about the same size as me, and he liked them, so I left those with him. So that's how that sort of thing works. So, all right, folks, we are going to call it a wrap. And there are reviews of all this stuff on my channel. I don't know if there's reviews of the sorrel boots, though. I don't know if I did a review on them, now that I think about it. I think I just bought them and packed them up and headed to Russia. I flew in there. This is why I went there in January. I usually don't go there in January. I usually go there in July. But anyway, the reason I went there is we wanted to go to Italy and tour Italy, and we were able to get a much better price if we booked it out of Russia, the tour. So I flew into Moscow, and then Masha and I flew on from there to Italy and did our tour all through Italy out of Russia. And what's cool is you buy the tickets at the last minute. You buy unsold tickets, and they give you a really good deal. I think we paid $900 US each for the entire tour. It's like a 10-day tour, all-inclusive, and it was good. It was well done, good food, decent hotels, all that kind of stuff. I mean, literally like $900 a piece. It was pretty cool. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Thank you all for watching. And hey, if you haven't subscribed, hit the bell, all that kind of good stuff. Be in motion.